Okay. So let's talk. Now, typically speaking, when we see a word in the ablative case, what are the 5 basic ways that we translate? What are the 5 basic ways that we translate? Who remembers? Julian? Booyah. Good. All right, what do those stand for? Good. By, with, in, on, from. So at the top of your notes, you're going to write that, even though there's no room for that. We're going to add it. Can I do that? Oops. Okay. And honestly, as long as you try one of these, it'll work in terms of basic ablative stuff. All right, but I would like to go over some specific type of ablatives. Okay, there could be a time when I ask you what type of ablative it is. All right, the first example is an ablative of time when. Okay, can I have a volunteer to read through that sentence, please? Just the Latin. Thomas? Sorry. Is the font not big enough?
No, it's my eyesight.
Ah. Well, these boards are also not the best. Parietes. Good. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've bolded the ablative words for you. All right, so we've got illo ipso tempore. Okay, at that very moment. All right, so do you kind of understand why that would be an ablative of time when? Right, it's like a snapshot in time. It's a time at which something is happening, that very moment. Okay, and it's telling you that at that moment something happened. All right, another type of ablative is the time within which. Time within which. Okay, so our example here, can I have someone read the Latin sentence? Nate, okay. Good. Okay, so I have already bolded the ablatives for you. It's brevi and tempore, okay, meaning in a short time. All right, so do you see why that is an ablative of time within which? Okay, do you guys kind of understand the difference between time when and time within which? Does that kind of make sense? All right, so essentially what you need to ask yourselves is, like, are they talking about a span of time or something that's happening at a particular instant? Okay, and that's how you can distinguish between ablatives of time when and ablatives of time within which. Okay, but if you're not sure, you could always just say it's an ablative of time, and that generalizes it a little bit. Okay. Any questions so far? Yeah? Okay, let's keep going. Wait. Okay. All right, I'm actually gonna. Yeah, sorry, I gotta turn up the brightness on my screen. Okay. So I'll keep the second one. There. Okay. Now, number 3, this one's pretty simple. It's an ablative of means or instrument. We've seen this one before. Okay, does means or instrument have to do with a person or a thing, like an actual object? Anyone? Ablative of means, is it a thing or a person that does the thing? Huh?
Both. Wait,
No, it's not both.
say anything.
It has to be some type of object. It cannot be a person. Okay? Think of it as the instrument with which you do something. Right? So I blew my nose by means of this tissue. Okay? This is the thing with which I use to accomplish the blowing of my nose.
Wait,
Yes.
would it be a verb? Like, you say, I conquered this city by means of attacking the...
Yeah. It could be. Wow. Super cool. Yeah, but it could be a verb, but that would be a participle. Which is like a participle is essentially a verbal adjective, so it looks like a verb, but it has like noun endings or adjective endings. That's how it's done in Latin. So it could be, but for now, don't worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in these, I've given you 3 means instrument examples. Can someone read the first one? Someone read the first one, Latin-wise. Chris, please.
Cornelia Flavium, complexu tenet.
Good. Okay. All right, so Cornelia tenets, she holds flavium complexu, in an embrace. In an embrace. Okay, you could translate it as by means of an embrace, right? But it's kind of just telling you how she's holding her, like with what means is she holding her. Okay, it's kind of a weird one, but... All right, the second example. Who can read that in Latin out loud? Salome, please.
Inter dio nihil intrat orbem vehiculo portatur.
Good. Okay, so during the day, inter diu, nihil, nothing, portatur, is carried. Okay, is that active or passive, portatur? It's passive, good. Okay, what's the ending on my passive verb? Who can tell me? What's the ending on my passive verb? What's the ending? Tur. T-U-R. Right? Just quick side note, what is the silly mnemonic device that we use to remember the passive endings?
Four risky turtles, murder miniatures.
Yes, 4 risky turtles murder miniature centurions. Yes,
Can I get some water?
you can as long as you use the sacred bathroom pass.
That's cool.
Okay. All right, so during the day, nothing is carried by means of a vehicle within the city. So what is it? What is this sentence saying? What is that ablative reflecting to us? I know.
It is telling us that it's third person singular.
Oh, so the verb is, yeah. Okay. But what does the sentence mean? Like nothing is carried within the city by a vehicle. So what is that telling me?
Like just restate it, you're asking?
Hmm?
You're asking us to restate it?
Kind of, yeah.
No vehicles in the city, like allowed in the city?
Yeah, there's no vehicles allowed in the city, essentially, during the day. Okay. Right, and the vehicles are the means they're talking about here. All right, number 3. Can I have someone read that Latin too? All right, Tom. Yep, Ioco optimo dilectamur. All right, we are amused, right? And dilectamur, active or passive?
Yes.
Passive, it's active.
Let's think about it for a second, okay? The form is dilectamur. M-U-R is my ending. It's passive, right? 4 risky turtles murder. Mur.
It would be the excellent joke amused us.
Yeah, so if we were to change that and make it active, Yoko optimo, it's in the ablative case now, we'd have to make it nominative. Yeah, we'd have to make it nominative. The excellent joke was amused, and we'd have to change the verb to reflect the new subject. Yeah, yeah, it's a little weird, but okay. So we are amused by an excellent joke. All right, it is a thing. It's not a person. May I scroll? All right.
You just go a little bit up to that, so I said before.
This one?
Miss Lee,
Yes.
do you mind just scrolling down? I'll just.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's it.
All right, number 4 is the ablative of manner. Okay, it's the manner within which things are done. All right.
Will you read the Latin?
Yeah, if you could.
Partes insulares agro february
Keciderunt. Yeah. Okay, now with this example, all right, the ablative of manner does not necessarily need a preposition, but sometimes it could have it. All right? So that's why I put the cum in parentheses there to indicate that it could be a prepositional phrase or it could just be on its own. But more typically, you're not going to see it with a preposition. You're going to see it just magno fragore, right? Because that's what the ablative does. The ablative has the ability to kind of make prepositional phrases sort of without prepositions. Okay? So the walls of the apartment building fell with a great crash. It's just telling you the manner with which something happened, right? She failed the test with great joy. She bought a chicken with great sadness. She skipped to class with great clumsiness, or with clumsiness, right? It's just telling you the manner with which something is done. It's almost like an adverb. You can think of it that way, but it's using nouns instead. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, number 5, ablative of cause. All right, tua culpa raida est in fossa. All right, you can translate that because of your fault, the carriage is in the ditch.
Is that
All right.
correct?
Where do you get the because?
Because it's the ablative of cause. Like you would say, like if it's the reason for something happening, then you could start it with because. But honestly, I don't know that I like because. I would probably say by your fault. Like by your fault. I think that's better. Maybe I'll change that. Because sounds kind of weird. By your fault, the carriage is in the ditch. All right, and all that means is just, the thing in the ablative caused whatever's happening in the main sentence.
That's all I understand.
Okay, there's just 2 more.
I just get used to it.
All right, number 6 is ablative of price, which we saw in this chapter in the story with Pseudolus, the wily, manipulative slave who tried to buy some meat and turn a profit, like a sketcho. Yeah, okay. Right, itaque tibi decem denariis eum vendam. Therefore, I will sell it to you for 10 denarii. Okay, it's a specific thing, right? The word decem does not get declined. That's why it doesn't look ablative, but it could be going with anything. Okay, only the numbers 1, 2, and 3 get declined. After that, all the numbers are the same. They don't change form. So decem is always going to be just decem. All right, but denariis is definitely ablative plural because it's 10 denarii, not 1. right? And it's giving you a price. Does that make sense to everybody? Kind of? Okay. All right, now the last one, ablative of personal agent, I've mentioned it to you, but this is where you're going to formally see it. May I scroll past number 5? Okay. All right, so mater et filia a servis per urbem ferebantur. Okay, and that translates as the mother and her daughter were being carried through the city by slaves. Now, what do we notice about a servis? What is that grammatically speaking? Yeah, it's a prepositional phrase. Okay, so how does that differ from the ablative of means or instrument? Does the ablative of means or instrument require a preposition? No, but the ablative of personal agent does. The ablative of personal agent requires a preposition. Okay, so it's almost like a formula. If you have a passive verb and an ablative prepositional phrase with a person in it, then you've got ablative of personal agent. Okay, I'll say that one more time. Ablative of personal agent requires a preposition and a passive verb. Okay. But if it's a thing, like an object, you don't need a preposition. So ablative of means, no preposition. Ablative of personal agent does. All right, is that kind of clear to everybody? Yeah, okay, even in the second example, you can see it here. Ab incolis omnia simul aguntur. All right, omnia, everything, aguntur, is being done, simul, at the same time, ab incolis, by the tenants. All right, because those are people, you need a preposition. But if everything was being done at the same time by means of water, would I need a preposition there?
No.
No, because that's ablative of means. It's different. Okay. Are we pretty clear on these 7 types of ablatives? Perhaps. Say that again? It'll take some time, it's not that bad. Yeah, and honestly, with these, I'm just more concerned that you're able to identify ablatives. And if you try just the Bouilloff method, that's fine. If you can't identify what kind of ablative is at first, that's okay. That's okay. All right. The base of it is, like in AP, you're going to need to identify those things. But for our purposes here, it's okay. As long as you know it's ablative, I'm cool with that. All right. So I'll leave this up for a moment or two more.
You notice what? You notice to write that bottom part right here, so.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
You know what looks worse than your other handwriting? Your face. The ace. No, I'm not sure.
Mm.
Why would my handwriting say like getting into
Okay. I don't know if I should move on to this then.
She writes in calc and I'm like, what are your weights? Your handwriting. I don't really see hers is so lovely. I've actually changed my handwriting. Me too. 2 days ago. I make it really.
Okay, I'm going to have you write 2 more sentences here. Okay, laudator ab his culpator ab illis. All right. Now, question. My verb is laudatur. Is it active or passive? It's passive, so we can expect some type of ablative to come our way. What is the ablative phrase here? There's actually two. There's two. What are they? What would I bold out? What?
Someone's like
Screaming?
classroom. No, I'm using.
Oh yeah, someone's probably watching something.
It's like
Two prepositional phrases. All right, so we've got Yep. Okay. No. So ab his and ab illis. Okay, so your translation for this is as follows, right? Laudator, is that, what person is that? For risky tur, what person is that? Down one, it's third. So it's third person singular. So we're gonna say he. Is he praising or is he being praised? If it's passive. Yeah, he is being praised. So he is praised. Ab his. By hikhaikok, these. Okay, and then there's an understood and here. Culpator, all right? So if culpa is a fault or a blame, let's make it a verb. So he is also what? He is, huh? Burping? Burning? No, blame. Think of blame. Like he is blamed.
Oh, I thought you said flame.
Oh no, be, sorry, not flame, but be with a, all right. He is blamed by illis, by those. Okay. This is actually a sententia, technically. All right, it was said by a guy named Horace, poet and cool guy. Okay, now, what kind of ablative is this, right? He is praised by these and he is blamed by those. It's a passive verb and it requires a preposition. There's really no way of telling, there's no noun, because his and illis are not nouns, they're adjectives. So what kind of preposition, what kind of ablative are these? Ablative of personal agent, right? The presence of the preposition tells you that. Okay?
Wait, so in this sentence, like these and those are counted as people?
Yeah, like these people and those people, understood. Yeah, that's what we call a substantive adjective. Like when there's no noun that's present, the adjective has to kind of stand in for the noun and act like the noun. So his and illis are representing people.
And then how do you get the understood and is just...
That's kind of, it's just left.
Not contradiction. Conjunction? Yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't put the conjunction in there, but because Horace is a poet, I would imagine that this is taken from a line of poetry, and when you have Latin poetry, they like to leave filler words out so they have more line space to accomplish more. Yeah, so but if you're gonna if you're gonna add stuff that isn't in the actual Latin, which you can do it, like the AP exam will have you do this, you bracket it off like that so that the AP readers know that you know that word is not actually present, but you need to supply it to make the translation fit. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's try one more. Sounds like they're listening to like Frank Sinatra or something.
It's kind of soothing.
Yeah, I feel pretty relaxed right now. Okay. So this sentence here, avarus animos nullos, satiator lucro. That should have been a long mark, sorry. There we go. Can you lift? If you can't write, can you lift? All right, so my verb in the sentence is satiatur, who is clicking incessantly. Do not do that.
No.
Cease and desist immediately. Thank you. All right, so satiatur, it ends in T-U-R. Active or passive, everybody? Passive, yeah, okay. What person is it?
First.
No, third. Singular or plural? Singular, right? For risky tur, okay, T-U-R. All right, so my subject is avaros animus. What is an animus? Mind, okay? And if you have avarice, that's one of the 7 deadly sins, isn't it? Avarice? What is that? What does that mean? What is avarice? You see it in the corporate world all the time. Greed. Yeah, so avaros, right? A greedy mind. Sorry, that should be italicized. Satiator, right? If you are satiated, what does that mean? Satisfied. So let's make this passive. A greedy mind is satisfied. Nullo lucro. Okay, both of those words, are they in the ablative case? Yes, so I'm going to bold those right quick so you can see. Right? Is satisfied what? By no. If something is lucrative, what if something is a lucrative venture? What is it doing for you? It's gain. It's profitable, right? So lucro is just profit or gain. Okay, so a greedy mind is satisfied by no gain or no profit. Okay, and this was said by Publilius Syrus, 55. Okay, now, what kind of ablative is this one? A greedy mind is satisfied by no gain. It's an ablative of means, yeah. Good. Okay. All right, so the big takeaway from today, try bui off, but remember that there are 7 specific types of ablatives that can be used to describe the grammar precisely. All right, any questions on that?
That's it.
Yep. Máquina. All right, so my question to you guys is this. Who finished exercise 31B? 31B.
Is that the first one?
Yeah. All right, how about the second one? Did anyone finish that?
I didn't finish, but most of it.
Most of it? Okay. So over the weekend, I don't want to give you too much. Just so you guys kind of have an idea of where we're going, we have to get through chapter 33. Once we hit 33, we're going to have a test.
What?
It's a unit test, technically. All right, but I will give you a study guide. This is going to be after mini course week, obviously. All right, because I know a lot of the teachers like to cram before mini courses. Right, so I want to do it after. So we'll get through those 2 chapters, then we'll have a unit test. I will give you a study guide, though. So it's not like, and we'll do review, so it's not like I'm just saying, you have a test and here's the test, good luck. Okay?
I see, but it's my